Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by the following: IU Health Southern Indiana physicians, primary care and specialty care providers now accepting new patients in Bloomington and throughout South Central Indiana. siphysicians.org. The IU School of Education, preparing teachers, scholars, and administrators to improve teaching and learning in Indiana and around the world. More at education.indiana.edu.
Smithville Fiber, the Gigacity Company. Fiber Internet, HD, and digital IPTV in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com.
And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up on Indiana Newsdesk. If you need an attorney, you assume you'll get one. After all, the Constitution guarantees you that right. But people are facing charges they don't understand, and there's no one fighting on their behalf.
Most people do not realize that the liberty that we cherish so much and enjoy, really, it is dangling by a slender thread.
Part 1 in our investigation of the state's public defense system coming up. 2 movies set in Indiana are ready to premiere here soon.
We're not special, nor do we have some privileged access to God.
Ahead, the writer and director of The Good Catholic joins us to talk about the film. We'll hear why he decided to shoot the film in Indiana despite the lack of competitive incentives available to filmmakers. Those stories, plus the latest news headlines from across the state, right now on Indiana Newsdesk. Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. The Sixth Amendment guarantees citizens the right to representation if they're accused of a crime. It's a constitutional protection meant to ensure everyone gets a defense regardless of their ability to pay. Every day in Indiana, people face felony and misdemeanor charges in their county courts, and in many instances, their constitutional rights are violated. A national study released last year called Indiana's Public Defense System Broken and in Desperate Need of Reform. It's an issue my colleague Barbara Brosier has been investigating. She joins us now to introduce part 1 in her special series, Justice for All.
Well, Joe, only a small number of people who are accused of a crime can afford to hire an attorney. We assume someone will be there to represent us if we need it because the Constitution promises us that. But some legal experts say the idea of justice for all might be more accurately described as justice for few.
The liberty that we cherish so much and enjoy, really, it is dangling by a slender thread.
They work for the state. Their caseload is way too high for them to give any adequate representation to anyone.
Public defense systems in so many of the states around the country, including Indiana, I fear, is failing.
If you get arrested, your odds of getting an independent lawyer are extremely slim.
William Carey is trying to hold it together.
I'm just tore up. I don't know what else to say.
He just came out of the Johnson County Courthouse where he appeared for a pretrial hearing. Carey faces several charges, including operating a vehicle while intoxicated as a habitual offender. Today, an attorney with the Johnson County Prosecutor's Office offered him a plea deal.
I don't know what to do because I have no attorney. What's going through my head is my freedom. This is my life. And they're going to give me 8 years. Either sign this or I'm giving you 8 years. So I had no choice.
Carey had no legal representation because the judge determined at a previous hearing he isn't indigent and therefore doesn't qualify for a public defender. Now, Carey broached that subject again at a November hearing, telling the judge he only makes $250 a week and therefore can't afford to hire an attorney. Now, we were inside the courtroom at the time, but Indiana law doesn't allow cameras in the courtroom, so we can't show you what happened. We can, however, tell you based on transcripts from that hearing.
Because you've got no expenses, you're living with your parents.
Well,
They are feeding you. They are housing you.
I help them out with groceries,
No, I'm not buying that. You live at home, your parents are taking care of you. That's the way it works. I'm not stupid.
I'm not saying...
So what are you going to do with all the money instead of hiring a lawyer, which you said you were going to do?
I'm just, expenses.
So Kerry says he signed the plea agreement. He agreed to plead guilty in exchange for the state dropping some of the charges against him because he saw it as his only option.
It was wrong. I have no legal representation. I don't know nothing about the court system.
Indiana doesn't have a statewide standard to determine whether someone qualifies for a public defender. It's left up to each individual judge to make that decision through a series of questions. Johnson County Superior Court Judge Lance Hamner says he doesn't think that's a problem. He's confident those who qualify for a public defender, at least in his county, are granted one.
We'll hold a hearing and make a determination based on their income, based on the family income, based on the resources they have available to them, for example, the property they own and things like that, to determine whether, as a matter of law, whether they are indigent.
But some legal experts say the definition of indigent is too broad and is applied inconsistently. It means someone who might qualify for a public defender in one county could be denied representation in another.
The test in Indiana is called the substantial hardship test, and it simply means, can the person accused of a crime afford to hire a lawyer without imposing a substantial hardship on himself or his family? And there is no, simple objective test of how much income or assets do you have, because it depends often on the severity of the case.
And that's not the only way public defense differs across Indiana. Yes, the Constitution requires states to provide public defense systems for their citizens, but Indiana passes that responsibility onto the counties and leaves it up to them to deliver on the promise. That means there's a lack of consistency across the state, and some argue a lack of quality.
We've got a system that is broke.
The legislature set up the Indiana Public Defender Commission in 1989, which establishes standards for indigent defense. It offers a reimbursement program for counties. If the county agrees to follow standards set forth by the commission, it could be reimbursed for up to 40% of the costs of non-death penalty felony cases. But just more than half of the state's 92 counties abide by the standards necessary to qualify. About 1/3 of the counties in the state don't participate at all.
Counties don't like to take state money because they perceive strings attached to it, even though the strings are really protecting the public defenders, the quality of representation, because you have caseload standards, compensation standards, experience requirements for certain kind of appointments.
The commission standards vary based on how much of a support staff the public defender has and what type of case they're defending. A full-time public defender with adequate support staff can take on as many as 150 felony cases in a year, while a public defender with fewer resources can take on up to 120 cases. The limits are higher for lower-level felonies and misdemeanors.
There are a number of very good lawyers, and in many places, the best criminal defense lawyers are public defenders. But if you take the best lawyer and you handcuff their hands behind their back and you blindfold them and you give them no resources and throw them in the ring, what are you going to expect? You're not going to expect high performance.
Johnson County is among those not participating in the state's reimbursement program. That means it doesn't have to comply with things like training and caseload requirements. Judges contract with private attorneys here to handle public defense cases in their courtrooms.
We would never tolerate a judge being an employee of a prosecutor or a prosecutor being an employee of a judge. But for some reason, we tolerate the advocate for the accused person to be an at-will employee of the judge. And then if you want to take an appeal, and you usually on appeal are alleging that the judge made a mistake, did something wrong, denied the defendant a fair trial, you got to appeal your boss and claim that the boss screwed up.
The judges in our county, and myself included, expect zealous representation on the part of the attorneys that we appoint as public defenders. I would never expect them to back down in any way from us in any way. We wouldn't ask them to, we wouldn't want them to.
Johnson County Prosecutor Bradley Cooper doesn't see a problem with the inconsistencies in the public defense system. He says the attorneys who represent indigent defendants here are among the best.
Whether you're poor or rich, you have the same set of constitutional rights. And those constitutional rights, at least in this county, are absolutely given to everybody that comes before the court.
But 2 lawyers are appealing a recently dismissed lawsuit that claims Johnson County is failing to fairly represent people facing charges here.
The major problem in Johnson County is that it's a system of graft, and the judges turn a blind eye to the complete ineptitude of their attorneys, of their public defenders.
Among the allegations listed in the suit, there's no oversight of Johnson County's public defense system, and public defenders don't devote the necessary time to each case. The lawsuit claims, in one instance, a part-time public defender in Johnson County was assigned more than double the maximum number of cases allowed by the state's Public Defender Commission.
What our clients experienced in this lawsuit is sitting in jail for months without ever seeing their attorney. They would see him in court for a minute or two where the attorney would ask for a continuance, and then the attorneys do literally nothing.
The facts spoke for themselves. It was a pretty atrocious program down there.
But Cooper says the fact the lawsuit was dismissed speaks for itself.
I thought the lawsuit was ridiculous, yes.
But it isn't the only lawsuit challenging the quality of public defense in Indiana. A lawsuit is also pending in federal court that challenges Allen County's public defender system.
It's not about bad lawyers. It's about they have no resources, they have no independence, they have inadequate compensation, excessive caseloads. It's going to impair quality of representation, and it does.
As for William Carey, the man we mentioned at the beginning of that story, a judge sentenced him to 730 days in jail as part of his plea agreement. That sentence was later modified to just over 450 days of work release. And next week, we'll introduce you to a woman in Allen County who says the way her case was handled drastically impacted the course of her life.
All right, and we'll look forward to that. Thank you very much, Barbara. Now, for headlines, we go over to Lindsay Wright, who has the latest on this week's top stories.
Thanks, Joe. A Columbus soldier was only 32 days into his service when he was killed this week in a suicide bombing in Afghanistan. Jonathan Michael Hunter was providing security for a NATO convoy. He was one of 2 American soldiers killed in the attack. Hunter's father traveled to Dover Air Force Base today to retrieve his son's remains. The family is still determining funeral plans. A statement from Columbus East High School says this is the 2nd graduate who has died in service in Afghanistan. The governor has ordered flags in Marion County to fly at half-staff tomorrow in honor of fallen officer Lieutenant Aaron Allen. Allen was fatally shot last week while trying to help a man trapped inside an overturned car. The funeral for the married father of 2 is tomorrow at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Hundreds of police officers are expected among the mourners. Video visits are replacing in-person visits at the Lawrence County Jail because the jail is running out of space. The jail is converting most of its visitation rooms to private meeting rooms for attorneys and clients.
Those things need to happen, and I think it's doing them an injustice by not giving them access to that in favor of visitation.
Inmates get 1 15-minute video visit per day, but they can purchase more. Branham says the policy will eventually apply to the entire jail. The state hoped to take control of I-69 construction from Bloomington to Martinsville by the end of July, but that transition has yet to take place. NDOT is negotiating new agreements with the 3 main contractors working on the interstate. An NDOT representative says the delay in the state assuming control on the project won't impact construction. Construction is supposed to be complete by August of 2018. The Hoosier State train that runs between Indianapolis and Chicago 4 days a week is often arriving late to its Indiana destination. Only 1 in 3 Indianapolis-bound Amtrak trains arrived on time in June. An Amtrak spokesman says nearly all of the delays have been caused because of freight train interference and dispatching decisions. Freight trains take priority over passenger trains. The State Department of Transportation is working with an engineering firm to solve the line's issues. Researchers say a reduction in the size of plants at the Griffey Lake Nature Preserve is likely because of deer. A plant height survey conducted by the Bloomington Parks and Recreation Department shows fewer plants and smaller plants in the area.
If the diversity and abundance of those plants is reduced, then that can affect the diversity of the ecosystem as a whole and its functioning.
The population of urban deer in Bloomington is an ongoing issue and a contentious topic. Debate has been quiet for a couple years since a plan to hire sharpshooters was canceled. The city's Parks and Recreation Natural Resources manager says he plans to follow up on the problems discussed this week with the Board of Park Commissioners. A grant from the Indiana Department of Natural Resources will support a new archaeological survey in Monroe County. As Sophia Salaby reports, the goal is to uncover more about the area's history.
The DNR awarded Indiana University's Glenn Black Laboratory of Archaeology almost $50,000 as part of a grant program from the National Park Service. Research scientist Liz Watts-Maluhos is leading the project at 8 nature preserves in the Bean Blossom Creek watershed with a group of archaeology students.
So every preserve that we're working on has never been professionally surveyed or completely covered via professional survey. So we're really looking forward to adding to the archaeological record and what we know about this area of Indiana.
Today, Watts-Maluhos and her team are doing a survey at the Sycamore Land Trust Powell Preserve near Gosport. Students test each area by digging holes and analyzing the soil for any signs of human activity. Several groups find pieces of ceramic embedded in the ground.
Ceramic, but it has like a little...
Finding these types of artifacts helps answer questions about those who lived here before us.
Generally in archaeology, you're looking to see if you can classify the activity that was happening anywhere at a site. Were people living there? Were they staying overnight here? Were they living there for an entire season, years at a time? Or was it sort of an expedient campsite?
Watts-Maluhos plans on finishing her initial survey of the preserves by the end of August. Projects in Indianapolis, Valparaiso, and Terre Haute also received grant funding from the DNR. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Sophia Salaby.
In just a couple weeks, the United States will experience its first total solar eclipse in nearly a century. Several watch parties are planned in the area. Special glasses are recommended to safely view the eclipse. One expert says mistaking sunglasses as a safe option can lead to a dangerous situation.
If you think you are protected, then you might view the whole eclipse, which might last 15 or 20 minutes. Well, during those 15 or 20 minutes, you will damage your retina.
Eclipse glasses allow you to directly view an eclipse. They have a film called Mylar, which experts say only 1/1,000,000th of light coming from the sun can pass through. The state fair opens today, but there's something that will look a bit different this year. A new sky ride was installed along the main strip of the fair. It's a 7-minute ride one way that gives you a bird's eye view. Fair officials say they do believe the ride will be back again next year. And Joe, I was up on the sky ride during the day, but I'd really like to see what it looks like at night with all the lights.
And you do need a couple tickets though, right?
Yeah, you need 4 tickets, so it's $5.
Looks like a lot of fun. Thanks,
Yeah.
Lindsay. Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk. We look at 2 films shot in Indiana and talk to the writer-director of The Good Catholic. And we'll take you to Memorial Stadium where the Hoosiers begin preseason football camp. These stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
$10,000.
15? 15, you think?
20, 21,000.
600.
20. 18,500. 24.
It's at least 40.
Look at it.
4,500,000. 650.
20.
650.
This textile would be worth about $500,000.
$500,000?
No way.
I knew it. It's just a blanket.
Laying on the back of a chair. Well, sir, you have a national treasure.
Wow.
A national treasure. Congratulations.
I can't believe this.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. Columbus residents will be rolling out the red carpet this September. A movie that was filmed last summer in the city known for architecture is winning awards and creating a buzz. The movie is called Columbus, but Mayor Jim Linup says the city's architecture just plays a supporting role.
It holds your attention, and you're interested to see how this plays out. At the same time, the backdrop, Columbus, really looks good.
You like it here?
I'm really interested in architecture.
I hear this town is quite the mecca.
The movie is about a Korean native who finds himself in Columbus, Indiana, caring for his dying father. He meets a woman struggling to follow her dreams while tending to her mother. The movie is nominated for numerous awards and has already picked up accolades in Boston and at the Valletta Film Festival in Malta.
We're hopeful that we can have the cast and crew, come back and sort of have a little bit of a reunion at the same time that those of us here locally get to see the picture.
That's September 1st at the Yes Cinema in Columbus and Keystone Landmark in Indianapolis. 1,500 first-week tickets are sold. 2 shows have already sold out, and several others are almost full at the Yes Cinema in Columbus. Now, another film made in Indiana, The Good Catholic, opens soon after. It will have its Indiana premiere on September 17th at the Buskirk Chumley Theater in Bloomington. The film was shot in Bloomington, and joining us now to discuss filmmaking in Indiana is the writer and director of that film, Paul Schulberg. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, it's funny, I would drive to work here in Bloomington, and there you guys were. You were all over the city.
Yeah. I mean, we were camped out on Kirkwood for weeks, and I can't even walk by there now and not think like I have something I need to do.
Yeah.
Because it reminds me of, it's kind of like my work set now. Every time I walk by everywhere there.
So why Indiana?
Well, the producers and myself, we all met in Indiana. Many of us are from Indiana. I'm not from here, but I went to grad school here, and we all, so many of us met each other while in Bloomington. So not even just Indiana, but this town specifically, we all have that in common. And the original script was set in a different college town in the Midwest, but it became pretty clear that this particular town and this state, we had a special connection to it, and it just felt like this is sort of inevitable. This is what we needed to do.
So some states have this tax incentive to offer filmmakers to be able to bring them in to shoot movies. And I know the State House here have tried to push for that in recent years. What kind of differences does that make when you're going out to shoot a movie?
Well, if you have, some states that have like 30% tax credits. Every dollar you spend, you're getting 30 cents back. And that's a big difference as the budgets start to get bigger and bigger. That money is a very real thing. So we did take that into consideration, and we kind of rolled the dice that our connection to the community and what we know about this community and how supportive it can be of the arts and just in general of their own people. We rolled the dice that we could make up that difference in goodwill, and that paid off. This town really took care of us and made it. We got something that you couldn't really. There's no number to quantify what we got from the town of Bloomington in the state of Indiana. So we don't regret it, and we're doing it again. So we're gonna keep trying this, tax credit or not. We're committed to making movies here. So.
Okay, so you said you're doing it again.
Yeah.
So can you share a little bit about what the next project would be?
Yeah, it's another feature that I wrote and will direct. We're shooting in Indiana. It is a film called Miss Whitelight, about a young woman who has this unique ability to counsel people, terminally ill patients, as they're trying to let go. And while she's amazing dealing with them, she is really bad in dealing with everybody else. And it's a dark, fun comedy about death. So.
And how much do you rely on Hoosiers residents for these films?
I mean, everybody around here, we from location to catering to transportation.
So there's a lot.
It's everything. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
We need the university. We need local business owners. We need citizens. We need government officials.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing.
Well, we have to leave it right there, but thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Indiana University football preseason camp is in full swing. New stadium construction is underway, a new scoreboard is going up, a new coaching staff is in place, and head coach Tom Allen says a new culture is emerging.
When you're playing for the people around you, that's what is special. And it cannot be, it's very shallow when it's just about you. And so that's the culture I want, and we're just going to keep creating it.
This season's campaign doesn't have the rebuilding theme that often comes with the new staff. The Hoosiers have depth, especially in the defensive backfield, and senior quarterback Richard Lego returns.
I know what is required now. You know, I know the kind of preparation that has to be put in to win games at this level.
Lego will also need that improved IU defense that gave up 25 fewer touchdowns than in 2015.
Just trying to make sure my team's ready. You know, me being a senior and one of the leaders of the team, we got to make sure we prepare one day at a time.
The Hoosiers opened their 2017 campaign with the preseason favorite Ohio State Buckeyes and a Thursday night contest August 31st. T. Grayscale, as we just saw there, enters the season 9th on Indiana's career list with 33.5 tackles for loss. He's a member of the 2017 Lot Impact Trophy watch list. Something we just learned too, ESPN College Game Day will broadcast live from inside Memorial Stadium against the number 2 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. And that's the end of this program, but our work continues online as we cover the news throughout the week at WTIUnews.org. Have a great weekend.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by the following: IU Health Southern Indiana physicians, primary care and specialty care providers now accepting new patients in Bloomington and throughout South Central Indiana. siphysicians.org. The IU School of Education, preparing teachers, scholars, and administrators to improve teaching and learning in Indiana and around the world. More at education.indiana.edu.
Smithville Fiber, the Gigacity Company. Fiber Internet, HD, and digital IPTV in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com.
And by WTIU members, thank you.